afternoon. How's tricks? It's a bit of a later walk this morning because Nanny and Pops are coming. So I've been getting a few bits and bobs organised this morning and a couple of calls. And now Buddy and I are having our little constitutional. So I had quite a few messages about the stories that I shared around Hebe falling over and the concept of I'm really lucky and everything always works out for me. And I wanted to bring to you another example of where this has just completely made my life so much easier, so much less stressful. There's been, no suffering involved in something that I guess could, bring in a bit of anxiety for some people. So I've got a question for you. How would you feel if you lost 700 quid? If you thought it had gone somewhere safe and then you found that it wasn't there. And then on top of that, you found that it wasn't back where it was supposed to be either. And in fact, it had just fully vanished. 700 quid, seemingly into thin air. I asked someone how they would feel about this, and I explained things that I'm going to talk to you about now to them, and they were like, my God, my anxiety would have been through the roof. Anyway, so here's the story. I sent 700 quid from my business account to my premium bonds account back in January, and it still hadn't arrived as of a couple of days ago. Still hadn't arrived, by the way. And so I got in touch with them and I was like, what's going on? And they'd sent an email basically saying they hadn't been able to accept the transfer and they'd sent it back. But there was still no sign of it coming back to my business account. So I waited, like they tell you to wait a few more days. It's now been about 3 weeks and this 700 quid is nowhere to be seen. So I obviously started to investigate, but I just said to myself, I'm really lucky and everything always works out for me. I'm also an excellent generator, holder, receiver and releaser of money. Money feels really happy around me and it always is cycling back because there's a fucking infinite amount of it out there, So I went through the process of trying to trace where this £700 had gone to. And I got in a loop, basically. Premium bonds were like, there's nothing more we can say to you. We sent it back. And my banker saying, there's nothing more we can say to you. We don't know where it is and we can't help you without this particular document, which NS&I, premium bonds, are refusing to give me. There are so many different ways to handle this situation. But when the mantra is, I'm really lucky and everything always works out for me, and also that I'm an excellent steward of money, when that's at play, there's no point choosing suffering. What difference is it going to make? So I exhausted all avenues. I'm not saying it was enjoyable, it wasn't, because I had to explain myself over and over again. But what I did notice was the calmer I stayed and the more optimistic and clear I was about the whole thing, the more help I got actually. Even though I still basically came up against a bit of a brick wall. So in the end, I am still minus £700, but I choose to move through this easily. And having a whole bunch of stress about it is not actually going to make that money come back any sooner. What we're saying to Keith was, listen, what's ours will never pass us by. That money is on its way back to us. I don't know how quickly it'll be. Maybe it'll take months. Maybe it'll take years, but it will work its way back to us because if it's supposed to be with me, it'll be with me. And no amount of stressing is going to make any difference. I've written, a letter because they've basically got to the point where they're like, there's nothing else we can do. You better put something in writing. So I've written a letter. and I've copied that into an email with a full like table of events of what's gone on. But here's what I think, because I'm really lucky and everything always works out for me. I know that that 700 quid will come back to me at exactly the right moment. Like precisely the right moment. I just know it will. And when it does come back, I'll be like grinning from ear to ear, laughing. Hang on, if this dog's in bloody Foxpoo, I'm going to kill him. When it returns, because it will, because I'm really lucky and everything always works out for me, it'll be welcomed back with open arms. And I've got a feeling it will land just at the right moment. Maybe I'll need to send some money to Emily towards wedding planning. Maybe I will, maybe something will come in and it'll be the perfect timing for, I don't know, a holiday deposit, or maybe we'll need some stuff for the kids, or perhaps something for the house, or maybe there'll just be a bill or whatever it might be, but it'll come at the perfect time. I absolutely know that because I'm really lucky. And everything always works out for me. So, watch this space. I'll let you know when it comes back. I do know that it'll come back sooner and with less stress if I approach it like this than if I literally choose suffering. Because if I choose suffering about this, when it's absolutely 100% outside of my control, that is like drinking poison and hoping someone else is going to die. The only person who experiences the stress is me, because I can fucking guarantee you, no one at Premium Bonds is losing any fucking sleep over it, and neither a Revolut bank. So why would I? This is absolutely part of my teachings in Rich and stuff, but I can tell you it's worked over and over again. Over and over again. Imagine it like this, right? I'm just going to put my dog's lead under my arm. If you are holding on to something so tightly like that, so tightly, nothing is going to get into your hand. Nothing. Nobody could put something there if they tried. That's what you're doing energetically when you're like, oh, this needs to come back, it better happen, oh my God. It's like, just hold it loosely. Just hold it loosely. It feels completely different. It's open, it's trusting, and that's when things come in. And that's when things come in. Because like attracts like, and you're a match for what you put out there. So if you put out there big, angry balls of contracted stress, then expect to be a giant crap magnet for more of that. But if you hold it loosely and you are trusting, then more things that are on the same frequency are coming your way. I've seen it with clients, money coming in and out, everything. Anyway, there. So I just thought I'd share that with you. How would you feel if you had 700 quid, £1,000, 20 quid, whatever, you pick the number, and it went missing? Would it send you into a tailspin? Or would you just trust that it's coming back to you? Because you're really lucky and everything always works out for you. I know which I am.